We're gonna start this video off with a moment of silence for Mac Miller. And by saying, rest in peace, man. We miss you, you know? What's going on, guys? It's Doug. We are back today for this video, which you guys have been asking me for a long time. We're gonna be listening to Faces by Mac Miller. Really quick, all my social media is on screen and the links to them are in the description. Also, in the description you'll find a link to my Patreon if you would like to support the channel by becoming a patron. The patrons are the backbone of this channel, and I could not do these videos for you guys without them. So I really appreciate you guys, and you can also support the channel by liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting on the videos below about what you think and how I could better the channel. And yeah, I appreciate you for doing any one of those things. So I held off on making this video because I had been doing a couple videos by Mac Miller. I reacted to Swimming, then I did Good AM, then I did The Divine Feminine, and shortly after that he passed away. And I didn't want to use the fact that everybody was talking about him and searching up his name on the internet and everything like that to try and gain popularity, you know, views and subscribers on my channel. I wanted to let all that kind of die down a little bit and let people process what happened first before I made this video and put it out. So I really wanted to be as respectful as possible to Mac Miller, and I'm really hoping that at this point it's not, you know, still too soon to be posting this video. A lot of you guys, I put out a poll on the community page, and a lot of you guys said that it was fine to put it out right now. So I mean, here we are. I want to take this album seriously, but I also don't want to overanalyze it. I don't want to listen to this just from an analytical point of view because it's an hour and a half long, and that would fry my brain if I tried to analyze a project for that long. My sole purpose for this video, I guess, is to just take in what Mac Miller gave us and to enjoy this project as much as possible while providing some insight as to maybe how it was created or what I like or dislike about the tracks. I hope you all enjoy the video. I'm glad you're all still here. If you're still watching the intro and you haven't skipped ahead, you're a real one. I appreciate you. And let me know in the comments if you're one of those people. We're going to get right into it. This is track 1, Inside Outside. This is Faces by Mac Miller. I hope you're all as excited as I am. Let's get it.
Yeah, should've died already. Faces. I should've died already. Shit, I came in, I was high already. Everybody tripping, never mind, they steady from.
It's so crazy that that's how this starts off, man.
Don't you know how to fly already? Trying to tell you that it ain't real. I'm flying there, yeah. All my homies full of sperm. I don't need nobody, I would love somebody though. Don't you ever get it fucked up.
Hey,
Sleep too much.
this is so smooth. I love the horns, I love the drums, I love that little ad-libs. They're so subtle in the background. This track just feels so smooth, you know? It's really soulful, man. Mac always had music like that. It's crazy. Yo, I love it. It's really short. It's a nice intro. I'm gonna let this play in the track 2. Here we go.
Be without fear in the face of your enemies. Be brave and upright.
Polo pajamas, I think I made it. I showed my mom my first million, she damn near fainted.
Yeah.
The rich and golden bands on 2 chains in the Gucci verse. I'm underrated, don't fit on nobody's playlist. If I ain't in your top 10, then you a racist. Cocaine ether, I did it all without a Drake feature.
Hey, talk that talk, bro. Yo, I love the horns, man. The horns touch your soul.
Yeah, brand new home, I think I made it. Key to the city, I keep to open the gates with.
Yeah.
A briefcase with 1 million kids getting murdered that I grew up with. They shooting up, doing drugs, or they doing nothing. My girl's parents still living there. They know it ain't the place, and it's a day I hate to waste. Trying to be a legend by tomorrow.
So sick. Alright, so we got that really smooth intro, and then here, man, in this beat, the drums are so simple, but that horn in the background, it is so soulful. Like, it hits me in a special way. I love brass, I love horns, I love strings in hip-hop music, and when they're well incorporated into the tracks, it always hits me in a different way, man. So much appreciation for that track, for the instrumentals on this track. And then, of course, in the verses, He's a little braggadocious, but he shows a little bit of wisdom, you know, talking like, I'm just human, let me make my mistakes. You know, he wants to make the mistakes to learn from them. He was just always so down to earth and so honest, man. It is really interesting because we kind of came up with him, you know. We were kids when we first started listening to his music, basically, and then we just kind of like saw him rise to stardom, really. And yeah, he did it without a Drake feature, he did it without a Jay feature, even though he got recognition from those types of people. I mean, that Jay-Z tweet was legendary, but it's crazy to think that he really did it alone. It was all him, all his talent, all his effort. So such an incredible artist, man. And that track, like I said, it hits me in a different way. The whole vibe to it, the whole tone to it, it's really dope. Track 3 is Friends, featuring Schoolboy Q.
Okay.
Really crazy, this cello.
Okay.
Oh, this is so sick.
Snowflakes keep falling on my expired debit cards. Don't know why I'm still awake, I gotta be up at 10 or more. This every day is full of jokers like a deck of cards.
I love the reverb and the really short delay on his voice. It's almost like immediately after he says it, you hear a little bit of a delay. It kind of sounds like trippy, you know, it kind of sounds a little spaced out. Pair that with the production where the drums are just so laid back and way in the background, and they've got this really crazy bass line. I don't know if it's being played on an actual bass or on a cello. I know that beginning sounded like it was played on a cello, but it just sounds so trippy, you know? It's crazy. And his delivery, of course, you know, his performance here is like really laid back and relaxed.
I'm a motherfucking minotaur.
The ad-libs are great too.
Look at how set you are. Cause we out here when it brought my dogs from out the reservoir.
Yeah, I love the reference.
I need to split it up in 7 parts. Revis brought me out to Cali for the first time. Went to Amori's more famous.
This is so crazy. It sounds so different and unique.
But still all in love is like an orgasm. Cause you're never gonna know if your girl fake it. I'm always
Dang, that's crazy. I can't not smile listening to this. This sounds so weird.
Connection boys, no control, fuck Kellamore.
Yo, so creative, you know, it sounds so different. That really crazy bass line with the piano, just like really simple chords, laid back drums. It's gonna roll into Angel Dust.
Right, no writer's block. Haven't slept for days, they wanna put me in a psycho watch. Everyone's afraid of what I do inside my studio.
Crazy flow. Awesome production, dude.
Lying on the pavement, covered in items. Dilated, highly dehydrated. I'm lost inside a giant matrix. Isolate myself from eyes I find contagious.
The flow is insane. So playful, so awesome.
What are you afraid of? Just a little angel dust. I'm playing hot potato on a Winnebago. The chips are still, it tastes okay though when they're dipped in queso.
Yeah.
And once he laying by the sewer rats, you know little Stewart hasn't been in any movies lately.
It's tough to hear him talk about the drugs, man. Knowing what happened.
And now we at the end of verse.
I love the piano, man. That piano is setting this whole mood for me. Ah, this breakdown. Oh, phenomenal, dude. This is so beautiful, dude. This is beautiful craftsmanship. Man, oh man. You hear the horns? It's contemporary jazz, dude. Man. That's contemporary jazz on a hip-hop project, dude. It's beautiful. My phone almost fell, my bad. It's beautiful. You can't hate on that. I mean, unless you don't like jazz, you know? Then I can't trust you if you don't like that. But anyways, man, it's so creative. It's so well produced, you know? And if I'm not mistaken, I think he produced it. I think Larry Fisherman is... Yeah, he produced it. Crazy, man. He was such a genius. He was so brilliant. I love that piano. And then bringing in the horn for the outro, it just... There's so much soul. You know what's crazy is that his voice isn't the greatest singing voice. Like, he's really not a good singer, but there's just something about his voice that's just so soulful that you can't help but like hearing him sing, you know? It's crazy. He just makes such beautiful music, man, and it really is something special to hear him, you know, do what he did on this track, instrumental-wise. It's tough to hear him talk about the drugs, you know, it is, but it's what he was living through at the time, and he was just so brutally truthful and honest about the situation he was living in, and I always thought that that was really admirable. Just his openness with the people who were listening to his music. It's an awesome track. I love it. Track 5 is Malibu.
I might die before I detox. You piece of shit.
It's like he almost knew how he would end up going, because he always mentions this. You know, he always mentions his death.
Sarah Jordan on my flip flops, and kill me now if I did it all for hip hop. I might die before I detox. Saying high five.
I love the organ.
Blowing up the weak spot, but they never find a G spot. I'm recording like tomorrow. At the rate I'm getting high, it'll be hard for me to find tomorrow. But
all these tracks sound like a trip. You know, they all just sound so trippy.
Walking with a smile on. This whole hands in the Bible, that's a violent song. The highest strong, eyes low, drive long.
This is so tough to listen to.
Back away, I'm the bomb. They ain't killing, they just yelling, that's it. A deadly combination with that ecstasy sniff. On the phone, probably yelling at Rich. Say, they was all laughing.
I love that, the little guitar that comes in out of nowhere. I love how experimental these all sound, you know, the jazz elements with a couple of modern takes on it, you know, like the jazz guitars and the organs and the chords that they actually use, bringing in cellos and basses and horns and, you know, things like that. I mean, it's just all really unique. It sounds like it's jazz, but it's hip-hop, but it's neither, because it's really just Mac Miller's sound. Like, it's his. No one else does that the way he did. And it's crazy the way that he made these tracks. The subject matter gets so tough to listen to when he starts talking about death, man. It's crazy. You guys are putting me through hell, but it's enjoyable because it really is beautiful music, and I am so appreciative of this. What do you do?
Man, I think I'm Eric Andre. Man, I think I'm Louis C.K. Man, I think so, therefore I am. Man, it's 8 a.m. Man, my mind is an emporium, a cute naked hoe.
A drug habit like Philip Hoffman will probably put me in a coffin. But down the slope,
God dang, dude!
3-day delirium, evil calling me, I got a devil magnet. I know a bitch will let you fuck her from the cello passes.
That organ is so bright, it almost sounds like a spaceship.
Life is just like college, all you have is your noodle. Mirror, mirror on the wall, I'm staring at a dead man. Me to go back like Bron's headband. Hiding from.
Yo, I am so here for Mac Miller making fun of LeBron James's hairline. Yeah.
Slave to the W, I don't hang with losers. I'm in the suburbs doing drive-bys and Ranger scooters. First try, so I dark, but we scared of heights. I'm in a pair of gym shorts with the Sith Lord. We might go bowling later, maybe play Connect 4.
He had such a playful side to him, you know? Doing drive-bys on Razor scooters.
I my powder white, for my bitches black.
It's so funny to hear him talk about like the immaturity, you know, doing drive-bys on Razor scooters. Like, it just reminds me of my childhood. It makes me smile. It's so cool whenever he drops lines like that. He's got such a creative mind when it comes to writing these lyrics, because the references are so relevant, you know. He always incorporates these really awesome references in his music. And I mean, talking about LeBron James's hairline and making fun of Kanye, like I Love You More Than Kanye Loves Kanye on the same track, is just like, it just goes to show how versatile and how well versed he was in pop culture to include that into his music. I love the production on this, you know. All of this production sounds so spacey and it sounds like a trip, and it sounds like you're high, really. Like I said earlier, the organ is so bright that it almost sounds like a spaceship, you know. Like the sound that the Jetsons flying cars make whenever they fly around. That's almost what this organ sounds like. It's crazy. So it all just feels really spaced out and really weird to listen to, but he just manipulates all those sounds so well to create his music the way that he wants it to sound. Let's go on to It Just Doesn't Matter.
It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I tell you it.
Jumping out the Camino, slept the gas tank, smell like hot Cheetos. A quarter soft core on the boss. Wake up in Polo, sleep in the cars. Travel across the world, but that didn't affect me. A couple people that I know that happen to play me. Go to Hawaii, fucking Samoans. Sleep in the ocean, just keep it emotion.
This is so sick.
Selling pussy over Melrose Ave. I'm in a hella bag trying to get attached with my better half. Never that smell so gone, so bring the coke on up.
It sounds so good. It just sounds so good. You know what? That track just sounds good. Like I could totally just see me listening to that and just vibing to the way that it sounds. It's just really cool to listen to. Like that's just what I have to say about it. It sounds so good. His flow is so great. His bars are so sick. They're so funny. Such subtle flexes. Wake up in polo, sleep in Lacoste. You know, it's so much talent, man. It's crazy. Next track is Therapy. I know this track. I've heard this one. I knew I recognized the beat.
I don't usually like to be the son of switching. I must have lost the picture. Give me a box of switches, room full of obnoxious bitches.
This beat's so sick, dude. I recognize this from some video game soundtrack. This is so awesome. The vibe is so great. Yeah, so I had listened to that track countless times before, but never actually known what it was or what it was called or who it was by. I just recognized it from a video game soundtrack. I think it was one of the 2Ks, if I'm not sure. Pretty sure this was on 2K16. That's beside the point. I had heard it before. It's an awesome beat. I love the vibe to it. I love his delivery. I think it's a great track. Track 9 is Polo Jeans. I'm gonna go empty out the SD card though. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Hope I didn't keep you guys waiting for too long. But yeah, Polo Jeans.
Woke up from a coma, pulled up with a soda, smoke, went back to bed. Never thought it'd be such a moment, right time I got running.
This road's so wavy.
So cold, bro, I'm with the homies, don't count crows. Just went through a half ounce of coke. Blood pouring all out my nose. Don't tell my mom I got a drug problem. I'm fucking high, leaving this poker free. Don't I look so handsome in these polo jeans?
The paper, and lately I don't like shit. I've been inside on the daily, getting wasted is the time that I'm spinning high and sedated. I'm 5 in this film. I'm more content with dark and stormy weather. Flip the fucking cross on your rosary. We're supposed to be better.
Yeah, nice.
Your efforts and
this verse is pretty filthy.
Shit, I'm in a total stranger. No love in my heart for coppers. Blood from my lungs on the scene. Cashing out off the garments, the hardest fuck.
Dang, dude. It's nice how laid back this production is. But I'm not sure how much replayability it's got because of how laid back it is. You know, yeah, I feel like in the grand scheme of the project, this fits in a lot better. But it's not one of those tracks that you want to like specifically come back to, at least off a first listen. You know, if I'm listening to this project again and this comes on, I might get a greater appreciation for it and be like, yeah, this is really a great song. I want to come back to it over and over again. But for now, this is just one of those tracks that I'm not skipping by any means because I do enjoy it. But it's just, I'm not going to come back to it specifically. I'm just going to let it play through as I listen to the project. You know what I mean? That being said, Earl Sweatshirt's verse, really filthy. I mean, I'm not too familiar with his music, and I'm not really certain as to how good this stacks up to his other verses. Because like I said, I'm not too familiar with it, and I don't claim to be. But I know for sure that this verse is definitely really dope. Happy birthday.
There's a birthday party happening upstairs.
Oh yeah.
For me, who the fuck cares? They looking for
you hear these chords?
I hate to waste a vanilla cake that they
the bass line.
I tell the same longer than your student loans. Who got
whoa,
ecstasy pills?
That's long.
It's happy birthday, it's a birthday party. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, okay. Happy
the little shaker.
How the fuck if she doesn't care? Does she tell you that you hurt her and you're unaware? Did you hear about a heaven, now you're running there?
That's tough.
Think about the fantasy crazy. Baby, can you take me?
His flow is silk, dude. So smooth. Yeah, it's like, what I'm getting from it is that it's somebody's birthday, but the people don't really care about that. They just care about the fact that they get to party. And it's kind of sad because it's like nobody really cares about the person, in this case being most likely Mac Miller. And that's kind of what rich people in their lifestyle deal with, is people not really caring about them and more about the money and the parties that they can throw with the money. And yeah, it's sad, but the execution on this is really flawless. I mean, this production is just absolutely tremendous. I love the sounds that he chose for it. The drum is just so smooth. His flow is so sick. I love the little shaker. You know, it pushes the track along, you know. It's almost like a train chugging on the tracks. Like, it doesn't let the track slow down or get boring at any moment. It's always just pushing forward. And I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me in the way that I hear it. So, yeah, it's a nice track. Track 11, Wedding.
My bitch can tell that I'm addicted to pussy, she looking past it. The smile that she faking is tragic, hate looking at it. That magic I try to grasp it and fuck.
Oh, I love
When I look
this.
inside her eyes, hush, don't say a word.
This takes you somewhere. This production.
The word I wish that I would call more. Sick of seeing condoms in my sock drawer. Love turns to war so quickly. I envisioned us married.
Oh, this is so sick, dude. This is so sweet.
I need to listen to you.
God.
Girl, I'm the worst. Yeah, I'm the worst. In front of me, I shouldn't be so weak. What did I do to deserve a love like this? I wish it would last. Don't wanna lose you for some evil I did in the past.
Yeah.
You knew I fucked that bitch and you didn't react. Girl, you can't.
This is awesome.
The truth, I'll be a first.
I love this. It's so cool because he acknowledges what's wrong with him and what's wrong with her, and the fact that they both kind of suck, you know, because all humans kind of suck. Everybody's got like a good and a bad side. Still, they just love each other and they want to be together so much, and they consider each other something that they can't lose. And so, no matter how much they screw up, they just want to be with each other. And that's, you know, it's awesome. It's cool to see, and it's a really sweet track. I love the production. I love the way it sounds. It's an awesome track. It takes you somewhere. I love this vibe. Track 12, Funeral. Man, he says this music goes with his funeral. That's so weird to listen to now.
Said I was raised inside this pretty city. Drugs are just a war with boredom, but they sure to get me. My side bitch is sorta pretty, but she got enormous titties. I really have to be. Sit at home and drink by myself. My thoughts harassing me. Actually, as a matter of fact, she ain't getting back to me. Ashamed that time.
Oh, this is so great.
Just trying to get some peace of mind. Yeah, I've been trapping your life. This the motherfucking last day of my life. Never try to exercise.
Oh, that guitar.
Fantasy, but now I guess it's televised. I heard the legends never die. Oh, this lonely hell of mine. There never was a better time to.
So much pain, dude.
7 days and all he made was you. I'm out here with the kangaroos, making danger break the rules.
Man, this will get you in your feelings. It's like a trilogy of tracks. Happy birthday, wedding, and funeral. It's like 3 important events in your life. A lot of people consider those 3 days to be the 3 most important days of your life. The day of your birth, your wedding, and then your funeral. And hearing Mac talk about his funeral is just so surreal. I mean, it's a beautifully produced track with the guitar and the bass line playing with each other in the second verse, and just like almost calling back and forth to each other. And, you know, him talking about these struggles with his drug addiction and the pain that he's going through, and the reason that he resorts to them. And it's so tough to listen to, man, but it's such a beautiful, honest, deep, and sincere track. It's just so admirable, you know. Track 13 is Diablo.
It's the rap Diablo, macho when I drop flows. Or gets raised up, it's me and Petey Pablo. Colder than Gazpacho, colder than...
Yo, this beat is so hard. He brought the drums up front. Lately in these tracks, the drums have been kind of in the background just to add that smoothness to the track and that chill vibe. But on this one, the drums are so bombastic and just, you know, that boom bap, really hard hitting drums. So sick. It sounds so dope.
None of your fucking beeswax.
Yeah.
Bring a joint together like a kneecap. A little 8-ball, show me where the keys at. Famous functions, I'll do the famous function. The A-list can't be trusted. I strong arm them like I play the trumpet.
You hear that sample? I think it's a sample. The guitar? Oh my god.
Marathon gentlemen, go ahead and start the races.
Hey.
Take the copping space. Come up missing, tell your bitch that you been tripping, now you on vacation.
Yeah.
Like it's a DVD, lost inside my mind, it's a prison, homie, let me be. You can see me bleed.
You know, it's crazy just how good he was at rapping. Like, his flow, the metaphors, the similes, the wordplay, the rhyming. I mean, he was a really, really good rapper. not just a producer. He didn't just create beautiful music. He would, like, you could put him on a track with 3 or 4 other really dope lyricists and he would hold his own. He was absolutely so tremendously talented, man. I mean, this track is crazy. I love the energy on this one. It's fitting that it's called Diablo too, because it sounds evil how filthy it is. Track 14, Ave Maria. I had to say that in Portuguese just because saying Ave Maria wouldn't sound really dope, so.
Feel my legs, I'm a paraplegic. Lord, I wanted to fare one with my demons. Karen Myers became married to Jesus. Born dead, they had it.
You hear the snare, how muffled it is? That's such a creative move, because with a beat like this, you would expect the snare to be up front and punchy, you know, and really snap, you know, to make people really get into their groove and knock and bob their heads and stuff like that. But here, it's muffled. So instead of giving you that snap, it creates a little bit of tension where you want a little bit more, subconsciously even. You might not even realize it, but just when you expect that bang from the snare to hit, all you get is a really muffled thump, and you're like, creates a little bit of tension in the track. So if at any point an actual snare does come in, it's just this huge release. It's so sick. At least that's what it is like for me when I hear snares like this. I think it's such a cool move.
I'm a diagnosed insomniac, an astronaut in black.
See, all the other instruments are just really loud, up front, in your face. The kick, the guitar, the bass line, I mean, all of it. And then just the snare is muffled out.
Really do the spins on the tractor, I listen
Whoa,
up.
the cowbells?
That's white America for you, we all that matters. I'm a bad apple like an unemployed Macintosh.
Hey,
Now they
wow.
watch me let the merry go round. Eat, drink, and let the merry go round. Yeah, drink and let the merry go round. I got a double-sided silver dollar. Fish here from Major League beginner.
I don't know if you noticed it, but I got a double-sided silver dollar. Double-sided silver dollar is that DSSD, the sound that it makes in the line reverses itself. You know, I got a double-sided silver dollar. Your mind picks up on that, and it adds to how smooth his flow sounds, and it adds to the verse really tremendously.
I got horses on my PJs. Reach out and spit a jello.
And if you hear, there's like a tss in the beat with the hi-hats, like an open one. Listen.
I fit the forces on the PJs. On stage, sending dark forces to my DJ.
That double-sided silver dollar adds, it creates the same sound. You know, the sided silver in his line might match up perfectly with that. It's clever writing, really, and production, so it's really dope.
Ave Maria, I'm getting bread. East rise on Easter. Money is God.
Hey.
With jungle fever, I love it.
The breakdown.
Have you found a way in Slovakia? Celebrating Mardi Gras. Eating baklava, lobster claw, the Ramada with a mafia immigrants. Have you found a way out?
Yeah, he's just tremendous at producing. He's tremendous at producing and songwriting. I mean, he's just such a great rapper. He talks about such relevant stuff in his verses, and he always spits like so much truth, and he's just always in the effort of waking people up and showing them reality and how things are and how things could be. And yeah, he was just, I mean, I can't say it enough. He was brilliant. This track is really dope. Love the energy, love the production. I kind of went off a little bit talking about the production on this one, so yeah, you get the idea. It's a great track. 55. Based on what I'm seeing on Genius, I'm assuming it's just instrumentals, so let's listen to this. This is beautiful. I'm gonna let it flow into San Francisco, the next track. So dreamy.
Ew. Welcome to the dark side of my bizarre mind. I'm trapped inside of this amusement park ride. There's an atom bomb inside my sucky now.
This is so bouncy.
Putting hard drugs inside of all your baby's carriages. Arrogance of it. I wanna be buried with a novel in a chariot. I'm a bigger illusion than good marriages. To the San Francisco, strip butt naked, caused the panic at the disco. Fell for the bimbo who was dancing at the strip show. A genius still thinking with his dick bone. Out and wishing them to teach me how to yodel.
He's so crazy, dude.
Some sort. And strip butt naked.
He's absolutely insane.
Fell for the bimbo who was.
This song suffers from that same thing where I wouldn't necessarily come back to this track. I would just not skip it if it were playing on this project, because you know The beat is really bouncy, but it's really just a drum set and a bass line, and you know, there's no real melody or no really catchiness to it, you know? It's just a really cool song. It's a really funny track. There's a lot of funny lines in here. He mentions a lot of times about the guys thinking with, you know, the wrong head. That's relatable, and we've all been through that. Maybe not necessarily to that extent, but it's a nice track, but it's not incredible, you know? Track 17 is Colors and Shapes. Man, just emptied out another SD card. This video is gonna be long as hell. This recording session's insane. Alright, Colors and Shapes. This drum pattern is so weird. It took me a little bit to find the actual beat, but I got it. It's dope. I like it.
All of this weight that we have to carry, would you be able to bring?
This is about drugs for sure. This is too trippy not to be.
On his ship, all of his passengers escaped to safety, but he was not done with his trip.
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful, dude. This is one of the more beautiful tracks on this project so far.
Why don't you turn around and go home?
Oh, that riff. Oh my god.
Oh, if I jump, let me
Wow. So many different elements in this track right now. The smooth guitar, the actual drum pattern, the subtle melodies going on. The chords are so sick. Mac Miller, man. You know when they say music transports you somewhere else? This is like the prime example of that. That's gotta be the most psychedelic, trippy, beautiful, transportative track on this project. Like, it's the one that carries you somewhere else the most out of all of the other ones. Right now, that might be like my favorite produced track on this project because of just how incredibly awesome it is. Track 18 is Insomniak with a K, featuring Rick Ross. Wow.
For yourself.
I'm a motherfucking greatest. Y'all don't know that shit. I don't need your money, you go hold that shit.
Whoa!
And the crab is a polo sweats. I don't need a holster. Bad side piece with the bird. Motherfuckers never loved us.
Nice.
For your money, motherfucker, don't trust us.
The worst behavior reference?
By the brain. Bitch, you better have my money.
Hey!
I don't see anybody but me. Already been, but I'm there for more.
What? So dope.
I'm a maniac, crazy act, same thing. I might need a cage effect. Chain reactions happen when I make a pack. A psycho God made me that. I'll fade the black again.
Flow untouchable, dude. Turn this up.
Be fresh, that bitch, but don't try to speak around me. Don't sleep at all. If you want that bullshit, I ain't gonna be involved. Shit, I'm full of unleaded.
This is filthy, dude.
Enough credit.
My chain glitz, he's self-made. Mac Miller, my real nigga, my real
Whoa! Alright.
I'm the shit, I'm constipated. Yo, baby mama.
Come on, man. You're better than that.
I'm jet lagged, don't need stops. Pants sag, Jimmy Fallon. Blue and green in the green room. Def Jam like I'm really wildin'.
God, this is crazy.
I'm butt naked on my chopper, nigga. On my chopper, nigga.
I don't want to picture that, man. Why you gotta try and make me picture Rick Ross butt naked? Yo, the energy, the production, the features. I mean, this track is just all in. Like, it's just epic. Awesome song. Track 19, Uber. God dang, this project is long, dude.
Yeah. Don't put the spiders in my applesauce. Pins on my hand grenade. Somebody said that I deserve to die. I looked at the hands on my hand grenade. Somebody told me I deserve to die.
These drums.
In the eyes said the devil not circumcised. But mom, the underdog like to play the game with Diddy Kong. She the dial type, you know the bitch you type. I guess I got another one. Good vibrations, mark in the funky bunch. I put the gourmet flavors inside the parking lot, and I got nothing to love. And I'ma do this till I'm 102.
lie, that song actually made me zone out. Not in a bad sense, like I zoned out because I didn't want to hear it, but just like I got so lost in the beat and in the production and in the melody and everything. I just started like, I had my eyes closed and I was just like listening. It felt like I wasn't really here, you know? Like I was here but I wasn't here. This cover art is starting to make sense more and more with every track that we play, because it's just chaotic and insane and trippy and weird, and it fits really, really well because these tracks are all so experimental and just each one is a trip in its own right.
Take your time, we talking to a nigga, I don't waste none. Knock you off your feet and then I flee before the jakes come. Sick of hearing cases from these niggas who ain't face none.
Yeah, talk that talk, Vince.
His motherfucking face was fake when a person don't deserve what he get. Drag him down.
Ninth Wonder, go off on this beat, man.
And then funerals.
I spit that prayer hand emoji, the shit that in Jacoby. The holy is the holy, Nick Nolte and some Oakleys, that's a flex though. Cover up the flow.
His flow is so crazy.
Never ending chase, ease the pain.
It's just so good. This whole project.
Pretend I can just fly great vibrations. The magazines need quotes. I'm gone. Sorry, I don't even know.
Crazy. Ninth Wonder with the crazy beat. Vince Staples with the fire verse. Great feature. Mac Miller with the short verse, but just the crazy flow. He's been rapping like crazy on this project. That's another one. Track 21, Apparition.
I've been rapping since the apparition. I was gonna kill me and I'm glad he didn't. Might have made a bad decision. He always filled with spirits, and every single lyric dedicated to my dearest friends. Yeah, and Lord knows how we hate the questions. The feet hurts. I got scissors in my shoes and I'm dancing.
The feet hurts.
Never got. I did a cannonball off the deep end. My boat.
Hey, the hi-hats. Let's get it.
Fairy dust, a little poodle terrier, a silver derringer cure. We loud as crowd noise. We just let the amber burn. With both shouts to it. Ain't fucking with amateurs.
The switch up. Bringing in this really smooth piano now. This is so wavy, dude. Oh, this is dope. I'm having fun just experiencing these tracks and not really focusing too heavily on reviewing them and analyzing them, because you know, at this point everybody has their minds made up as to whether or not they like this or not. And so if you're watching this video, all of you must clearly think that this project is good. You've got your opinion clearly formed on it, so any reviewing that I have to do isn't really going to change any of your minds, whether I enjoy the tracks or not. So I'm having a blast with this older album because I don't have to focus so much on the review and on the analyzing. I'm just experiencing these tracks and trying to point out the little subtleties that I like. I say experience because that's really the only word that can describe what these tracks are, because they're so cinematic in their own way, and they're so trippy, and they transport you, and they make you feel, and they make you think, and they make you reflect, and it's just so amazing the way that he produces these tracks and creates these moods. What I have to say about that track is I thought the first half was really cool, especially when they brought in the hi-hat. I thought it was really dope, but that second half where it was just instrumental was absolutely beautiful, and it was an awesome experience. Next track is Thumbelina.
My neighbor's yelling, I don't give a fuck again. And I swear to God, if the cops come again, I'ma open up the store, get the rumbling. Store bought, and you are free. Why you hiding in the car? Why you look up? I'm just trying to free your mind. All you see is the
Hey.
I'm crying. G-Ama, E-Lobster. Full Spanish bitches, but I'm a D-Nada.
Oh, the flow, dude.
Need to roll.
See, I don't necessarily really like this beat a lot. I don't think it's really that good. I like his performance on it. I like his delivery. And although I don't really like the beat, I like the whole tone of the track. I like the mood to the track and the way that it makes me feel. So, you know, there's still positives to this track, and I think it's interesting, and it might grow on me, but for now, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Next track is New Faces.
And oh nah, we still on the bus, nigga. Before knock was deluxe, when I didn't have a brush, when it still was a host trying to fuck with me. Before I cleaned up a bit, just high now. It's a different way to clear my mind out. I need to find out, I'm doing fine now. Drowsy in a cut so much that it's pus around me. Catch him in the daytime, dusk hours, smoking out the pound. My face in the shadow, I'm drowning again. Shadow song. That name sucked in corporate dick. Said it with my balls and grip. Other hand got a portrait hit, or this route be one on my shoulders.
I like the organ, dude.
Blunt lace talking about I'm in this high rise trying to see the price out of life, and a nigga just keep coming back with a dark picture.
Stop running your mouth. You holding my money, just shut up and count my. Right now, so last the words in the week, plus the plug out, work like you serving for a sheet. We always call my
That's crazy.
Last supper I was fucking with the Corleones. I need something stronger than a cortisone that can save, but they leave it in suitcases. Been a criminal before scales and digital. Used to put the weed in the stove in my blue Asics. Hang my shit for the strangers. But the
You know, I could have done without that middle verse. I wish it was just Earl Sweatshirt and Mac Miller, because this track does feel a little long. Again, it's not incredible. This track is just okay to me, but it still is dope. The last track, grand finale, finally. This is so beautiful already. I love the guitar.
Bow-legged, no bang, gross gang, smell like gold, old man shit.
Yeah.
Flow dangerous, make you wanna do the wave, throw your bitch right off your lap and start a standing ovation. The creation, don't even know my address. Self-medicate and self-education. Rick Rubin show me transcendental meditation. Roads, God lives in my dog's soul, the devil in his dog bowl. We are the prophets. Jesus was a poor sporty Buddha Nostradamus. Turn water into wine, but see me grow up. How long it takes to live a life. I'm a bit surprised, I mean it's still alive. Mixing uppers and downers, practically suicide. My old Jewish mind. Let us have a grand finale.
It's crazy.
The world will be just fine without me.
It's crazy to hear him say this is a grand finale and hallucinations, how I use my mind, and talking about his drug use and the world will be just fine without me. It won't, first of all. But yeah, that track is great. It's a great way to end this project off. Like I said, I'm not focusing too much on reviewing this project. I think this project is absolutely great. It's phenomenal, and if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Mac Miller, thank you so much for this project, man, and for leaving behind music like this. Absolutely beautiful stuff. It's really tremendous production, lyricism, delivery. I mean, it's awesome. It's an awesome project. Thank you all so much for recommending this to me. And thank you all for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, my social media is all on screen. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit that notification bell, share the video with somebody you think will enjoy it, and become a patron on Patreon to really support this channel and to really help me do what I do and make these videos for you guys. Again, the patrons are absolutely the backbone of this channel, and I could not be more thankful for you guys. So if you'd like to support me on Patreon and follow me on any social media, all the links are in the description. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll see you all very soon. Peace.